Hello, and welcome to Zenith's Video Guide. I think you're going to enjoy our program. It's designed to give you quickly and simply all the information you'll need to help you get the maximum pleasure from your new VCR. To start, note the color-coded chapters on the back of the cassette sleeve. Each chapter has its own color, and that same color also appears as a color bar across the bottom of your screen to help you quickly find a specific chapter for later review. As you start viewing each chapter, the color bar will slowly disappear until at the end of that chapter, it's entirely gone. How much of the color bar shows will tell you where you are within a chapter. Now, this video program will show you how to operate your VCR, but it isn't meant to replace this printed operating guide. So we recommend that you take the time to read it. You'll find additional information in the printed guide that's not included in this video program. One other quick point. This video guide is meant to be used with several VCR models. While functions among the various models are virtually identical, where there are differences, we'll indicate them. Well, that's it for the preliminaries. Let's get started. Before we get started, notice the clock. It's flashing because the time needs to be set. We'll do that a little later, but for now, let's at least stop it from flashing. Press clock adjust and enter twice. Your new Zenith VCR has an automatic power-on system. Simply loading the cassette automatically turns on the deck. Now, I'll just turn it off for a minute and show you a handy feature. If you want to get the cassette out quickly, you don't have to power up the deck. Simply press the eject button, and just like that, out comes the cassette. Your VCR's primary controls are located here across this front panel. Behind this panel door, we have the secondary control group. We'll take a detailed look at these shortly, but for now, the knobs should be centered, and all switches should be set to the left. On the back are the antenna connections, the channel output selector switch, and the audio and video input-output jacks. Well, so far so good. Now, let's find out more about cassette playback. For cassette playback, you can operate your VCR in several ways. Manually, with the controls on the front of the machine, or at a distance with this convenient, full-function remote control. If you use the remote, be sure that this switch is in the VCR position. In the TV position, this remote will operate many remote-controllable Zenith TVs. Your Zenith VCR also has a feature called Auto Play to let you play back a cassette automatically. Here's how it works. A special circuit inside the cassette deck can sense the presence or absence of this cassette safety tab. Removing the tab prevents accidental re-recording of pre-recorded tapes. Anyway, if you insert a cassette that doesn't have the safety tab, the cassette will automatically go into the play mode and start playing the cassette. Okay, to view a cassette, turn on your TV set and tune it to channel 3 or 4, whichever is the unused broadcast channel in your area. In this case, channel 3. Then, on the back of your VCR, set the RF output switch to match the TV channel you've selected. Once you set this switch, you never have to set it again. And from now on, this switch position will determine which channel, 3 or 4, you tune your TV to when using your VCR. Now, why don't you sit back, relax, and use the remote control? And if you do, be sure the VCR TV switch is in the VCR position. The Tape TV button on the remote has the same function as this Tape TV button on the VCR. When the light is on, that means you can view a picture from a cassette or from broadcast TV using the VCR's tuner. When it's off, That means you must use your TV's tuner to select channels and to view a picture independent of the VCR. If you don't get a picture and your TV screen looks like this, just press the Tape TV button and you should get a picture immediately. Okay, notice these special symbols or icons printed on the membrane panel. These same icons also appear on the fluorescent display panel, so you can see at a glance what your VCR is doing. The remote control can perform virtually any function on your VCR. It'll do all the playback operations, including speed search forward, speed search reverse, and stop. You can also use the remote control to freeze picture action. When playing, simply press pause. By holding the pause button down, you can advance the picture continuously. To resume regular playback, press play. Normal picture and sound will return. Still picture and picture advance can also be controlled on the cassette deck by pressing the pause button. By the way, if this program seems to be going by too fast, press the pause button and rewind the tape a little, and then view the tape again. And then view the tape again. Speaking of rewind and play, your new VCR has a feature called Play Memory for repeat viewing of programs. Just press the rewind and then the play buttons almost simultaneously. The flashing play indicator means the cassette will rewind to the beginning, stop, and begin playing back automatically. If during playback your picture looks distorted, or if the audio sounds strange or is missing, turn the tracking control to clear it up. Selecting audio playback is easy. Each time a tape is inserted, the VCR automatically searches for the best sounds, in this case, hi-fi stereo. Now, if your tape has both hi-fi and normal mono soundtracks, you can use this audio out button to manually select hi-fi, normal, or a mix of both. And these indicator lights will show you at a glance which audio playback mode you'll hear. Here's a feature you may find useful. During tape playback, you can automatically search for and find a specific point on the tape. Here's how. When you see a point that you want to return to later, press pause. Then press counter reset. The counter will automatically return to 0. Press play, continue playing the tape just as you would ordinarily. Later, when you want to return to the previous point, set this switch to on. Press stop, then press rewind. The tape will rewind to 0, the point where you press the reset button. Now you're ready for tape playback. Well, that about wraps up this chapter. Coming up next, important information about your TV picture. For full enjoyment of your VCR, you obviously need a picture. So, in this chapter, we're going to take a brief look at where your TV signal comes from. All of us are accustomed to changing channels on the TV and seeing the channel we selected come up on the screen. That's because your TV has a tuner built in, and it's this tuner that makes it possible for us to receive a TV signal from any available channel in our area. Now, to understand how this works, think of the TV signal as water flowing through a garden hose. The signal flows in here from the antenna and into the back of the TV. Then it flows out again as a picture. Your VCR also has a tuner built in, so in a way it's like a TV set, only without the screen. And, like the water in your garden hose, the signal flows in here into the back of the VCR. Then the signal flows out again directly into the TV. Since the VCR's tuner works independent of the tuner in the TV, you can change from the VCR's tuner to the TV's tuner or back again anytime you want. Having two independent tuners is why it's possible to record a program on one channel while watching a second program on a different channel. Your VCR can also receive signals directly from a cable TV system, or from a special cable TV signal box, like this. Now, one of the things all this means is, since the VCR's tuner works independent of the TV set, we don't have to have the TV turned on to record a program. That's one of the great features of having a VCR. Now that we know a little bit about where signals can come from, let's go on to the next chapter and find out how to get the ones you want into your VCR. Well, as you can see from the last chapter, with all the TV signal possibilities to choose from, the way you hook everything up is very important. No matter where your signal comes from, sooner or later it has to go into the back of the VCR. If the end of your antenna cable is like this, screw it onto this antenna input jack. Your VCR can now receive everything your TV set's been receiving. On the other hand, the end of your antenna cable may look like this. In that case, you'll need to use the antenna mixer which was packed in with your VCR. Attach the twin UHF-VHF antenna leads to it, like this, and then slip it onto the antenna end jack. The next step is to send signals from your VCR to the TV. Attach this coaxial cable which came with the VCR to the VCR's antenna output jack, and the other end to the TV's antenna input jack. Your VCR is now hooked up to your TV. However, some TV sets have antenna terminals similar to this. If yours does, use the signal splitter that came with your VCR to attach the cable coming from the VCR to the TV, like this. Both your TV set and your VCR should now be able to receive normal broadcast TV signals. If your TV signal comes from a cable TV system, you most likely have a cable that looks like this. If so, simply screw it on to this input jack. Your VCR's tuner is cable compatible, so you should now be able to tune all of your previously available cable channels. However, many cable TV systems use a special cable box to protect their signals. This complicates the hookup situation a little, but there are several options you can select to suit your particular recording needs. Here's one example of how to hook up a cable box to your VCR. The cable signal coming into your home is first fed into the input of the cable box, and then fed out the output of the cable box and into the antenna input jack on the VCR. Then, the VCR output signal is fed to your TV. The advantage of this hookup option is you can record all available cable TV channels because you're using the cable box for tuning. The disadvantage is you can't use your VCR's tuner to make channel selections, since all cable boxes allow only one TV channel at a time into your VCR. If your cable system protects only certain channels by scrambling the signal, there is another way to hook up your cable box. First, connect the cable TV system's antenna cable to the antenna in jack of your VCR. Next, connect one end of a coaxial cable to the antenna out jack of the VCR, and connect the other end to the antenna in jack on the cable box. Then, connect the antenna out jack of the cable box to the antenna input on the TV. The advantage of this hookup option is you get to make most channel selections using the VCR's tuner. The disadvantage is you can view premium or so-called scrambled channels, but you can't record them, since unscrambling occurs after the signal has already passed through the VCR. What all this means is, when using your VCR with a cable box, you may have to choose between the cable TV company's tuner or the tuner in the VCR. Well, you can relax now. Hooking up your VCR is probably the hardest thing for most people to deal with, And you just went through it. So let's go on to Chapter 6. Well, now that we've got everything hooked up, let's take a look at selecting channels. Your VCR's tuner can receive UHF and VHF broadcast channels, and if you're a cable subscriber, CATV channels too. To do that, we need to make sure that these switches are set to the right positions. In most cases, once you've done this, you probably won't need to reset them again. Okay, set the source select switch to the tuner position. Next, for normal broadcast TV channels, set the band select switch to the TV position. To CATV for cable channels, or HRC for HRC cable channels. If you're not sure you've got HRC in your area, select the CATV position and tune your VCR to a cable channel using the VCR's tuner. Then, switch back and forth between the HRC and CATV positions and see which one gives the best picture and response time. Next, for normal broadcast TV channels, set the automatic frequency control, or AFC switch, to normal. For cable channel viewing, set the AFC switch to special. The AFC will automatically fine-tune the video signal. If your TV has similar switches, set them to match those on your VCR. Now, make sure that this indicator light is on to be sure that you're using the VCR's tuner. To select a channel, simply press the channel number you want and enter. You can also press one of the channel scan arrows until you reach the channel you want. Or use the remote control to quickly select a specific channel. Here's how to scan only your favorite channels. Enter the channel number that you want to eliminate. Let's select 5 and press skip. You'll see PO flash briefly, telling you the channel has been programmed out of the scanning sequence. The channel number is now no longer available. So, when you use the channel scan controls, you'll see only those channels that you really want to see. To restore channel 5 to the scan sequence, simply re-enter the channel number and press enter. Well, that's how you tune in your channels. Let's find out how to record them. Before we get into the steps in recording, here's a handy reference chart of video cassette recording and playback times. It'll help you choose the right length cassette for your recording. Your VCR will record both SP and EP tape speed. The faster SP speed will give you the best picture quality, and the slower EP speed provides the longest playing time. This number tells you the cassette in this box is 120 minutes or 2 hours long at the SP speed. At the EP speed, this cassette will be 6 hours long. Use the SP-EP switch to manually select your recording speed. Okay, let's record a TV program. First, load a cassette and make sure that this safety tab is in place or that the hole is covered with a piece of tape. Select the recording speed and tune the channel to the channel you want. Or you can use the remote for channel selection. However, if you're using a cable TV box to select the channel, you'll have to tune the VCR to either channel 3 or 4, the output of most cable boxes. Now we're ready to record. Hold record and at the same time press play. The red circle icon indicates the VCR is recording. Pressing clock count remain will display the tape time available for recording in hours and minutes. If the tape reaches the end during manual recording, the VCR will automatically stop and rewind to the beginning. Here are some reminders to quickly check before you start recording. Let's try recording one channel while we watch a different one. We'll record this channel using the VCRs tuner, just as we did a moment ago. But now, we'll just press Tape TV so the light goes out, and then you can watch whatever channel you select on the television without affecting the VCR's recording. But that's not the only way your new VCR can record. For example, this instant record button allows you to start recording a program almost instantly. Here's how. Go through the normal steps to get ready for recording. Then, when you want to record, just select the channel and press this button twice. Recording begins immediately. Notice the clock display has changed and now tells us the VCR will record for 30 minutes. Each time the instant record button is pushed, we add another 30 minutes, up to a total of 4 hours. The recording time you've selected will count down to 0 and the power will switch off automatically. Pressing stop terminates instant record at any time. Well, that about wraps up this chapter, so here comes chapter 8. This chapter is all about time, and for once, how to make time work for you. Your new VCR has a 14-day, 4-event timer for automatic recording of up to 4 different programs on different channels at different times. The clock plays an important role in all of this, so let's adjust it to the correct time. Press Clock Adjust, and when the day starts flashing, press today's day, Wednesday. Enter the correct time, 5 o'clock, AM or PM, and enter once more. It's just like setting a digital watch. Whatever is flashing indicates the information that you need to enter. Now, let's program the first event of the automatic timer. Press the Program button, and notice the fluorescent display panel changes to show you the programming information. Number 1 is flashing, indicating the first event is ready for programming. So, press Enter. Whatever's flashing tells you the next step to program. In this case, First and Sun for Sunday. Pressing the day you want and Enter programs this step. Now, program the time you want the recording to start, AM or PM, and enter it. When you finish the last step in programming the start time, you automatically are ready to begin programming the stop time. We program the stop time the same way we just did the start time. For every start time entered, a stop time must also be entered. Finally, enter the channel number and tape speed to complete the steps for programming the first event. If you want to program additional record times, you have up to 4 events available to use. Simply press the Program button again to display event number 2. Then repeat these same steps. If you change your mind or notice an error in any of the programmed information, just press the channel scan arrow to return to the previous step for correction. When you're through setting the timer, you can instantly change from the programming mode to the clock display by pressing the Clock Count Remain button. With the tape in the VCR, the last step is to turn on the timer by pressing the Timer button. The VCR will turn off, ready to automatically record each program at the time and day you've set. These numbers tell you how many different events you actually programmed, up to a maximum of 4 events. Well, that's great, but suppose you want to program a show and it won't be on until next week. Here's how. When the day flashes, press Second, the day of the week you want, and enter. The rest of the steps are the same as before. You can also program the VCR to record your favorite weekly series each week automatically. Simply press the day you want. We'll say Saturday. Press repeat and enter. The remaining steps are the same as before. Every week, your VCR will record the same program without having to reprogram the timer. To record your favorite daily series, just press Daily. Every day of the week will be displayed. Press Sunday and Saturday to remove those days if desired. Then press Enter and follow the same steps as before. Once the timer is set, you can check the start and stop times entered for each event by pressing the Program button. If you find an event that you don't want to keep, just press the Cancel button. It's important to note that when the clock and timer are displayed together, normal VCR controls will not work. To make them work again, turn the timer off and press power for normal operation. When the word timer is flashing, it means that something's wrong, such as the cassette safety tab is missing. However, the timer will not flash for certain errors, so here's a list of some common programming errors to try to avoid. One final reminder, if the tape runs out during timer recording, the VCR will stop and automatically eject the cassette. That way, the automatic timer won't accidentally re-record over existing material on your cassette. For additional details about the auto-record timer, please consult your VCR's printed operating guide. Well, we've covered quite a bit of information so far, and there's some real excitement coming up in the next chapter, stereo audio recording. You may have purchased your Zenith VCR simply to record video programs, but you now own one of the finest home audio recorders as well, with playback performance specifications approaching those of digital laser discs. The reason your VCR's audio performance is so terrific is because of the way the signal is recorded. The left and right channel hi-fi stereo signals are laid down here on the same broad area of the tape as the video signals. In addition, your VCR has a second recording track here, along the edge of the tape. This edge track can be used to record normal monaural signals or a second audio program signal from your VCR's built-in MTS stereo broadcast TV decoder. We'll talk more about these recording possibilities in a few minutes. Let's see how to take advantage of the dynamic hi-fi stereo performance of your new VCR. We need to connect the VCR to a stereo source, such as an amplifier, an FM stereo receiver, so we can both record and play back stereo sound. We'll start with the stereo source. To get the audio signals into your VCR for recording, use these audio cables with phono plugs on both ends. Start by connecting the left and right audio out jacks here to the left and right audio in jacks of the VCR. Make sure that a left channel out is always connected to a left channel in, and a right channel out is always connected to a right channel in. To play back the stereo sound from your VCR, connect the left and right audio out jacks of the VCR here to the left and right audio in jacks of the amplifier here. By the way, this type of playback connection can be used to hook up your VCR to most stereo TVs equipped with video and audio inputs. So, even if you don't have a separate component amplifier and speakers, you can listen to hi-fi through your stereo TV's built-in sound system. Just remember, if you use this type of hookup for playback, the TV's audio-video selector switches must be set to receive the signals. In reality, there's no way of knowing exactly how these input and output jacks will be labeled, but the idea is the same, even if the labels are different. Now, if you do have a component audio system, we're ready to go through the steps for recording an FM simulcast TV program. Set the source select switch to simulcast. This tells your VCR to record the video signal from the VCR's tuner and the audio signal from another source. In this case, your FM stereo receiver. The audio level indicator switch should be set to level, and the ALC switch to on. When the ALC switch is in the on position, correct hi-fi audio recording level is automatically maintained to give you maximum signal strength without audio distortion. To listen to the stereo signals being recorded, set the audio out switch to hi-fi. Then, tune your AM/FM stereo receiver to the station broadcasting the sound for the simulcast program. The remaining steps for simulcast recording are the same as recording a normal TV program. Now, if MTS stereo broadcast TV programs are available in your area, your VCR's built-in stereo decoder will automatically record them in stereo. Simply select the stereo channel you want and set the source select switch to the tuner position. The rest of the steps are the same as recording a regular monaural TV program. Broadcast MTS second audio programs, often a foreign language, are recorded here along the edge of the tape. These indicators tell you whether broadcast stereo or second audio programs are being received. If you want to record both the broadcast stereo and second audio soundtracks simultaneously, set the audio in switch to second audio and the red LED light will come on. Both stereo and second audio programs will be recorded automatically. If no indicator light appears, it simply means that the broadcast signal is not available. If no second audio broadcast signal is being received, or if you don't want to record it, set the audio in switch to norm. Here's welcome news for music lovers. You can record up to 8 hours of VHS hi-fi sound on a single T160 cassette. That's a lot of music listening. Here's how you do it. Just set the source select switch to the auxiliary position. Then, proceed with the normal steps for recording stereo audio from any source. Here's more good news. Your VCR has a music scan function to locate the beginning of a recording. Here's how it works. Start recording, and then press record mute, and then pause immediately. A 5-second audio index will be recorded on the tape before the VCR automatically enters record pause, ready for you to begin normal recording. Just remember, you must insert the audio index at the beginning of each recorded segment to use the music scan during playback. You'll also find it helpful to keep a numbered list of your indexed recordings for reference. Now, to use the music scan, start playing the tape, and use your reference list to note the location of the selection playing. Then, count the number of audio indexes between your present position and the selection you want to play. Enter that number and press fast forward or rewind, and the VCR will begin scanning to it. For example, if you're presently listening to selection number 5 and want to hear selection number 8, you would press number 3. However, if you're playing selection 8 and want to return to selection 5, you must enter 4, because you'll scan past the index at the beginning of the selection you are playing. As the VCR scans, it will count down the index points it passes and stop at the desired selection, and then automatically begin playing. Finally, here are a few things to remember. You can record as many index points as you want, but during playback, you can only enter up to 9 indexes at a time. To access more than 9 selections, just repeat the music scan playback steps. But that's not all of the special features available to you. We've barely scratched the surface of your VCR's talents. For example, in addition to an FM stereo receiver, you can record from an audio cassette deck, a laser compact disc player, or a stereo LP turntable. Zenith VHS Hi-Fi. It opens up a whole new world of audio-video enjoyment. Well, that about wraps up our show. We hope that you found this video operating guide useful. It's Zenith's way of helping you enjoy the many features and benefits of your new VCR. If you'd like to tell us your reaction to this video guide, we'd like to hear from you. Please write us at this address. By the way, here's how you may receive your new Zenith VCR free. Each month, a drawing will be held by Zenith from the completed owner's registration cards received during the previous months. Zenith will reimburse the winner for the full purchase price of their VCRs. In order to participate, simply complete and return the owner's registration card.
Stars, larger than life, waiting to be captured by your home VCR. And the perfect sounds to capture are the sounds of the superstars in concert on HBO. Month after month, HBO brings home the great sounds of the great performers in concert, all simulcast in FM stereo, like this one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
A major event featuring one of rock's superstars. Only one of many outstanding concerts heard in stereo on HBO. Don't miss the great excitement of the great performers on HBO. Stars like Tina Turner, Bob Dylan, Whitney Houston, Phil Collins, all simulcast in FM stereo. For information about installing HBO in your home, call your local cable company.
Baseball, the Pete Rose way. He's played in more winning games than any other major leaguer, with more hits than anyone in the history of baseball. Now, your child can learn to play baseball the Pete Rose way.
Perfect. Try to catch the ball as close to where you're going to throw the ball as you possibly can. Watch it again. I'm moving back. Now I'm going forward. It's all one motion. I'm ready to throw.
Pete Rose coaches tomorrow's would-be players in the techniques that have made him an all-star at 3 different positions.
Cook up the right habits, you got a better chance of winning the game. And that's what we're out here for. Teach everybody how to win. Winning is important. And winning, hustle, and fun is baseball the Pete Rose way.
Baseball, the Pete Rose way.
Five, six, 7, 8.
the longest-running Broadway musical, is now available on video cassette from Embassy Home Entertainment. Victory at Sea. Never has the essence and agony of the human struggle of World War II been captured so well.
The attacks are incessant, the damage staggering. To die is to die, but to live is to fight.
Now available in a special collector's edition, or in 26 different volumes.